Hey Divi Nation, thanks for joining us in this live stream, and today I will be showing you how to create a question card grid using Divi and the Internet Service Provider Layout Pack. So if you haven't checked that out yet, make sure that you do. I've mentioned a link in the description below. And if you're not an Elegant Themes member yet, make sure that you check out Divi. I've mentioned a link to the product page where you can go ahead and discover everything for yourself. And without any further ado, let's get to it. All right, so as mentioned before, we're going to use the Internet Service Provider Layout Pack, and you can find that by going to elegantthemes.com/layouts. And if you go there, you can scroll down until you come across the Internet Service Provider Layout Pack, and it's the green one over here. And if you click on it, you will see all of the layouts that are available, and you can join to download by clicking on the purple button, or view the live demo by clicking on the blue button. And this will redirect you to a live website where you can go ahead and explore all of the layouts and then afterwards use them on your website. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a question card grid that we'll use for the About page, and this is what it looks like. So we have this nice hover effect over here, and we're using this on the About page because it's one of the most frequently visited pages on a website, and there are a lot of questions that a lot of visitors might have, and you can answer them in an interactive way using these cards, as you can see over here. So you can answer questions by just giving a title to a blurb module over here, and then once people hover, the answer will appear. So we're using 9 in total over here, but you can go up to as many as you want by just following this tutorial and going along with it. Okay, so let's get started. I'm just going to show you what it looks like on the back end on the wireframe mode as well. So I'll just enable the visual builder here. All right, and if I switch over to wireframe view, you will see what the structure looks like in the back end. So we have one section, and then we have 3 rows in each one of these columns over here. So there are 3 columns for each row, and each one of them has a blurb module in it, which is modified according to the question that you have. So this is the outcome that we'll achieve on the back end, and then this is the desktop view that you have. And let's switch over to smaller screen sizes as well. So this is what you can expect on tablet, and this is the mobile view. All right, so let's get started. The first thing you will need to do is add a new page. So I'll just do that really quick. So just go to your WordPress website, go to Pages, Add New. And I'm using Gutenberg over here, so I'll just give my page a title. I'll publish it before switching over to Visual Builder. Hi everyone in the comment section on YouTube and on Facebook. Glad you could join us. I like this tutorial a lot, and I hope you guys will too. So then I'm just going to enable the Divi Builder over here. And this will take you to the Visual Builder right away, and I'm going to choose a pre-made layout. So I'll be using the About page. Let me show you what it looks like. So this is the About page that you get from the layout pack. I have it here as well. And we're going to change that into this kind of interactive grid over here. All right. So I'm just going to scroll down until I come across the Internet Service Provider Layout Pack, and I'm going to select the About page and click on the green button which says Use this layout. All right, so now we have all of these sections in between the hero section and the footer. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all of those because I'm not using them. I'm just showcasing all of the content using the grid that I've shown you guys. So I'll just delete all of these, and then I'm left with 2 sections. So now I can go ahead and add a new section right in between these 2 sections, and it's going to be a regular one. And I won't need to make any changes to it. I'll just continue by adding a new row, and I'll use 3 equally sized columns. And before adding any modules, I'm going to open the row settings, and I'm going to go to the design tab over here and make some changes to the sizing settings. So we'll increase the width of the row to make it take up the entire width of the screen over here, and then we'll just add some spacing in between the columns manually. All right, so I'm just going to enable the make this row full width option, and I'm also going to use custom gutter width. I'll give it a value of 1, and I'm also going to equalize the column heights over here. And then I'm going to go to the spacing settings, and over here we're going to make sure that there's a space in between the columns that we manually add. As you can see over here, this is less than the default values that you usually get if you're not enabling the gutter width or anything like that. So let's just do that really quick. So I'm going to use 10 pixels for the top and the bottom padding of the row. And this will just make sure that there's a little bit of space in between the rows once we'll clone it once we're there. Then I'm also going to add 10 pixels to the left padding of the first column and 5 pixels to the right side. And then over here I'm adding 5 pixels again, 5 to the left side and 10 to the right side. So by adding 10 pixels to the left side over here, 5 to the right, and over here 5 and 5, 5 and 10, we'll make sure that the space between the columns is equal. Because if you were to add 10 pixels over here and then 10 pixels over here, that would make 20 in total. And now we're just making sure that if you add this right padding over here with the left padding over here, you have 10 pixels in total, and this will make sure that the the space between the columns is equally. All right. So now that we have that, we can go ahead and add our first card, and we're using a blurb module for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and add one to the first column over here. Of course, I'm going to add some content. So within the title option over here, you will need to add the question. So in this case, you want to share more information about the founders. And then in the content box, you'll need to add the answer. And then we're going to select an icon over here. So there's an image, but we're going to get rid of that and we'll use an icon instead. And I just want to use an icon so people, kind of have the idea that they can hover it to see an answer. And you can use any of the ones that you have over here, but I'm just using this one. And then I'm going to go to the icon settings and I'm going to change the icon color. I'm going to make sure it says top over here, and then I'm going to enable the use icon font size option over here and add 40 pixels. And I'm also going to change the icon color on hover. So now we have this color, and then we're going to kind of make it disappear on hover by using a completely transparent color. So here's the default, here's the hover. And next we'll go to the text settings and we'll enable center text orientation. Then we can go to the title text settings over here, and we're keeping the style of the layout back, but you can play around with all of these settings to make it match with whatever you had in mind. And as mentioned before, you can use this for any kind of page you're working on. I think it really works well for about pages. But you can, play around with all of the built-in options to create your own alternative versions as well. So I'm going to add 40 pixels to the text size over here. And I'm going to reduce the letter spacing as well. And then I'll make this title disappear kind of on hover by choosing a completely transparent color here as well. So this is what we have up until now. Then we can go to the body text settings and we're going to use Open Sans. We'll choose a light body font weight. And if you want to follow everything step by step, you can also take a look at the blog post, which I have mentioned in the description below. And there you can find all of the steps, all of the color codes as well. And I'm also going to change the text color here. So this is the default color. So we have a completely transparent color, but we'll change that on hover to make it appear when someone hovers this blur module. And we'll adjust the text size, decrease the letter spacing as well, and reduce the body line height. All right, so the one thing that we'll need to change over here on hover is the body text color. I'm just going to enable the hover option over here and change it into a black color. So this is what we have up until now, which is really similar to the end result. We'll just make a little bit more changes to it to have this very modern style going on. And then we'll go to the spacing settings, and here we'll, shape the blur module into this kind of card. And we're going to do that by using some custom padding. So we're using 9 for the top and the bottom over here, and 50 pixels for the left and the right side. And then we'll go to the border settings, and we're going to give each one of the corners 30 pixels. We're not able to see it yet, but we will as soon as we add the box shadow. But before we do that, we're going to remove these rounded corners on hover. So now we have 30 pixels over here, and we're going to remove it by adding 0 pixels instead on hover. And we'll also add a bottom border. So this is the color code that we're using, and by default we'll have 0 pixels because we don't want it to show up before you hover. And then we'll enable the hover option and add 10 pixels. So this is what we have up until now. So the only thing that we need to do is add a box shadow for the blur module to take its shape. And I'm just going to add a subtle one and change the shadow color into one that's really, really subtle. So as you can see, 0.05% transparency. And then we'll also reduce the transition duration into 250. You can play around with these. If you want it to be really smooth, you can increase it. I personally think this goes well with a small duration, I would say, because people get to see the answers really quick. All right, so we have the first blur module over here. Now we can go ahead and clone this and place it in the 2 remaining columns. So this is starting to look like this. Of course, you'll need to make sure that you change the content of each one of the modules over here. So I'll just do that really quick. And along with the content, you'll also need to change, well, that really depends on your preference, but I would change the bottom border color to distinguish the blur modules from one another. Sorry. All right. And then I'm gonna change, I'm sorry guys, the bottom border color here as well. It all happens, right? And now you can go ahead and clone this row up to as many times as you want. So if you want to have 9 of them, you can just go ahead and clone the row twice, and then you'll have 9 showing up over here. And of course, you'll need to change the copy and the bottom border color for each one of these as well. I'm just going to save it and exit the visual builder for you guys to see the outcome. All right, so here we have it. And you can adjust everything to your own needs, play around with Divi's built-in options to create your own kind of alternative versions of it. All right, that was all for this live stream. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And we hope that you're enjoying this ongoing Divi design initiative where we try to put something extra into your design toolbox each and every week. And if you're enjoying all of these tutorials, make sure that you check out the link in the description below that will lead you to the blog post where you can submit your own kind of blog post with your own experience and knowledge using Divi or just general WordPress posts. So make sure that you check that out as well. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video or live stream.